Hello, everyone out there. If there's anybody out there, um, this is Janine, and if this is the first time you're actually seeing me, welcome to Turn the Page. We are multi-streaming today. Tried it last week, and today Spirit is allowing me to go. Behind me is Mystic Seer, my frog with the globe that can tell your future. All right, so I hope everyone is doing really good out there. I see a few of you that are jumping in here. I see Arnie is out there. Hey. Want to talk to Arnie and see how he is doing, how his show went. Arnie, just let me know because I'll put it up here. So if you guys don't know, Arnie is up in the New York area, one of the islands up there. And he actually had a show where he makes his own tarot cards and paintings and everything else. Very artsy fartsy, just like Alley Cat is. And just want to give him a shout out. And, Arnie, if you want to jump in here, I'd be more than glad to put the link in here and have you come on and talk for a couple of minutes and just let us know how you are doing. Yeah, so let's see here. I just want to say hi to you guys. So there's a lot of wackadoodle stuff going on out there. And Arnie, you just let me know if you want that link because I could always just share it with you very quickly, or anybody else that actually wants to jump in here. More than welcome to share it with you. I'll announce it once, and then if anybody else feels like they want to come in, they can. Let's see here. I'm trying to find. Boy, they changed a few things on this software here. Let's see here. I'm going to copy the link, and I'm going to just go ahead and do it. I am on 2 YouTube channels, and if I don't recognize you, you probably won't come in. But I've got a very small group here. All right, so here we go, you guys. This is Monday, and my goodness, it's Monday Madness is what I'm going to actually call this. First of all, I do want to, you have to remember which screen that I'm on here, kind of talk about some things. I'm not the best at these comms. If you guys know, please share it out there. Please do. And your comments automatically appear on the screen now. And I love that. That's a good thing. So if you guys happen to know what this is, share your thoughts out there. Everyone's going to be able to see it now. Everyone at home, not just the ones that I highlight. And that's a good thing. So this is, they're at a game here, right? And the question is coming from Captain Kyle. If any of you guys follow him, Flotus timestamp at 3:14. What do you think the comm is here? And it's the reflection of the game in her glasses. And I'm just going to kind of go through some of the things that people are saying out there. Like I said, I'm not the best person to kind of talk about these comms, but everyone was basically guessing false flag during the break, a break at the game. All right, let's see here. And then MSM is handle out there. It says fast breakaway. This is a tactical move where a team quickly transitions from defense to offense, often with players running past the defender to create a scoring opportunity, sometimes resulting in a one-on-one with the goalkeeper. So how do you relate that to what's actually going on in the world out there? I'm going to leave that all up to you. Let's see what else we have going on out here. Let's see what else I have going on out here. I bookmarked quite a few things out there. There have been a lot of black hole events on the horizon in the comms. And they're basically saying 0 equals Obama's signature. So I'm going to leave that for you guys. I'm not comfortable talking about these comms. That's why I kind of fly through them a little bit. Talking about the financial situation out there with gold and silver. I'm seeing a lot of good things out there. What else do we have? Let's see. Oh, so John Denver is a parody, and it's right here. If you guys could see this, if you want to follow him, if you're really curious about natural products, he doesn't sell it. He's basically just like anybody else that's out on X that talks about it. It's got a great information out there, and I don't think I shared that with anyone. I don't think I was comfortable enough to do it, but he just kind of talks about 3 different products in particular, and one of them is that blue methoid or whatever it's called. I got to look at that a little bit closer before I make a decision on that. Q-Mom is, if you guys don't know, that I used to call her Flip Flop. That's What's her name? In DC. Gosh, it keeps fleeing me. And I've got my coffee here with you guys with some shrooms in it. But in any case, I'm trying to think of her name. She says, I can't prove with the fractal data, but I'm pretty sure that the Q team planned the plan before they came to Earth. It's exactly why it can't be stopped. And that's what she believes. Nancy Drew is her name. Back in the day, what else we have going on here? I don't want to talk about the meat. That actually makes me sick to my stomach to see some of the stuff that's out there. Let's see here. Yeah, and so we're talking about time travel too. Lots of time travel. So some of you may already know this. This is kind of old news about the Baron Trump underground journey. But there's more stuff that has actually come out of the looking glass, and I think we're going to be hearing more of it from the experts out there. When I actually see this, I'm going to come back to you guys for a minute. When I actually see this stuff out there, it just means more and more people are waking up. It's kind of like we already knew about this stuff, and then they discover it, and they're going to regurgitate it, and that's fine, right? That's fine and dandy for all of that. Let's see here. Okay. I want to show this one here in particular because I think this is why they're actually talking about the time travel stuff here. This is thoughts into the looking glass. They, like I said, I am not the expert here. World Cup champions. That looks awesome. You guys tell me, what does that look like to you? Yes. All right. What are we seeing out here? I'm seeing prayers for Arnie from Laura's. Hey, Laura's, how are you doing? I'm actually going to put yours up here. So you can see what I put up here on the left side of the screen, and on the right side of the screen, whatever you guys are typing in out there is now automatically, your comments are now going to the stage, which is cool. Ellie Cat, yeah, time traveling dimensions hopper right here. Alley Cat, come on, Alley Cat, grab that link that's out there and share your wisdom with us. Thursday in the AM is dentist. Yikes, prayers, please. Everybody send that energy Novocaine to Arnie, as he's saying here. Okay. All right. I actually, I'm going to speak with you guys a little bit and get to my next story. I actually had a doctor's appointment, and I think you guys always hear me bitching about my doctors. I don't care for them. Once I go to them and the energy is off with me, I fire them and I move on. So the technology is getting really interesting in the healthcare industry, if you guys haven't already seen this. And basically, this one doctor in particular found so much stuff going way past almost. So the different states that I have lived in, right? And she didn't go far back as the first state where I was born and raised and lived for 50 years. But she picked up enough information from the last two states. So it's current information. I was very surprised on what she had. I do have problems with high blood pressure. I do have to try to find a med, and I know that there's other things that I need to take control of myself with working out, moving. I become too stagnant. And you guys, this is just so weird. She was able to, and it was weird to me, but probably common sense to you guys. So she asked me, what were your complications with your gallbladder? And this was in the year of 2006. And I looked at her, I did the whole puppy tilt. And then I said, oh, yeah, they told me that I actually died on the table. I said, but I don't remember any of it. And she just said, so you had a heart attack. And that's not how it was reported to me. And she says, how else do you think you could have died on the table? You had to have that anesthesia that they gave you was too powerful. And she went into some scientific theory behind that. And I came home and I was just like, I guess I had a heart attack. And I never thought about that. But I told her in the long run, everything that she wants to treat me with, if she could just please do more natural stuff. And they're all up on this, you guys. They know we know. And so this is so cool. She did refer me to a natural, I think it's a naturopath. Is that what they call them? If my insurance takes them. I told her that's the only way that I'm going to move forward with this. So they now have QR codes on everything, and all you do is scan it. It brings it up information. You type in your insurance company, and they let you know if you're covered, which is one of the things that I'm going to look into after this show. So, what is the Monday Madness that's actually going on? You guys have to take a look at this next story here that I'm telling you. Let me just show it. Oop, I always kill the sound because of the fact that I'm on YouTube. All right, let's get rid of this comment here. All right, so this is St. Louis. This is the airport at St. Louis. They are outside. What is it? Southwest Airlines. Let me start it all over. Let me just go through this thing here. And St. Louis Lambert Airport. People are trying to get in there. They bought their tickets. What the heck is happening? I think if somebody said there was Mercury retrograde, right? If anybody is flying and if this is one of your stops, just beware. St. Louis is backed up. And let me just see if I could take a look at what this came about. A lot of times we got to be careful. I've got to be careful about these dates that are out here on here because they're not always current. It says this is 14 hours ago, so half a day ago. So it says the total meltdown on St. Louis Airport. Miles long lines outside the terminal. This isn't the TSA. This is a check-in, wrap-up around the building and spilling into the streets. Hundreds were stranded, flights missed, people dragging their bags through the traffic just to reach the front door of Southwest Airlines, getting torched in the comments again. How the hell is this even allowed in 2025? Yep, this is what I'm talking about and what you're talking about, right? It's scary shit that's happening out there. All right, what's our next story here? Let's see. I don't want to do that one there. It's more and more people are talking about the truth about marijuana. It's out on X if you want to see it. I don't want to actually play that. So this is Good Morning X, not a nudge. This is from a movie. I wish I could play it for you guys. It made a lot of sense where we're actually skipping things in our timeline. And so Vincent Kennedy is one guy that I watch, and I've asked other people if they watch him. If you don't follow him out on X, take a look. He puts what's happening in this world today with a lot of things that are out there. Okay, so he basically is telling Matt Damon that's sitting in the chair, you forgot to spill your coffee. He goes, what do you mean? He goes, now you're going to have to be adjusted. You didn't spill your coffee, so now you're going to be adjusted. Who out there forgot their ritual and has to be adjusted? All right. Let's see here. Scrolling. This is a joke out there. It says release the Epstein files, coming from Hillary, and Bill Clinton commenting, honey, what the WTF? Oh, I see somebody out there. Hi, can you hear me?
Hi, yes.
Let me turn up my sound on this side because I have a loud computer. I'm sorry. How long have you been waiting out there?
Not that long.
Oh, good.
I just had to grab my microphone so you could hear me.
You look good, Missy. How come? Wait, let me get you on. There she is. All right. So, what's going on?
We're time traveling right now.
Jump.
Just microscopically.
Yeah.
You're a vibrating being. You're jumping in little.
Well, I'll tell you what. I think we do so much of it that during the day in the storms, I am sleeping, and I don't know why, but it rains down here every other day during the storms. So we are time jumping, and that's kind of what I thought. And she's referencing this. If I got to go back up there. before I get any further there. So there's when I talk about Monday madness, and you can make your comments on these type of things that I'm showing you, Alley Cat. But here we have somebody else. It's a leading report. He's Omar Fadeh is running for Minneapolis mayor. He wants to raise the minimum wage by over $4 over a few. He wants to freeze your rent, and he wants Trump-proof the city. What the? What
does Trump-proofing mean?
That's a good question there. I don't know what the Trump-proofing is, but just going to tell you, there's madness. It's just total madness out there, and I'm not liking any of this crap that they put out there. And to me, it's filling in the timeline. It's infomercials.
It's just distraction.
Yeah, it definitely is. Let's see what else we have out here. Oh, the whole thing. I want to get your perspective on this. I'm glad you're here because I want to interview you on this. And I know you don't like talking about political stuff, but on my YouTube page, I'm making fun of these Epstein's List and with Trump. And if you guys haven't seen it, please get over to, I think it's on Turn the Page. I only have it on one YouTube channel and also on Facebook. So I've heard so many different things about this list that they can't bring it to fruition. What do you think, Alley Cat?
I've seen it. Have you?
I think we've seen it like about 5 years ago.
I've seen the Black Book too.
I haven't seen the Black Book at all.
Ooh.
So there's just as many women on there as there are men.
You got to take into account that Epstein, whether he's a Mossad person or not, speculating over here, entertainment purposes only. I don't believe that everybody that was on his list did something bad. I just think that when you're in that club of billionaires and influencers and people that shake and make the world go around, that you're going to have people's phone numbers. You're going to hop on people's planes because you're in the loop. It's just like if I got stranded out somewhere and someone said, "Hey, Allison, I get it. You don't have a way to get home." It's just like, what's that stupid movie with Uncle Buck, what's his name? John Candy in that movie. Home Alone. Hey, why don't you hitch a ride with us? It's on our way. Like, people do that when you have all that kind of money. I don't necessarily believe that everybody was evil. And I think everybody has, like the movie, a plot point and a insert here. How do you infiltrate the mafia? How do you infiltrate a biker gang? You have to become one of them.
Yes, you do. And if Joe Rogan's had a couple of these, like FBI, CIA agents who had to meld in with these type of mafia families, and they become one. Even when he's interviewing, you could tell that they're still one. They're vibrating at the frequencies of whatever the evilness is that they do. And I don't think it leaves them. I think when you're in there, if it was a short assignment, you become yourself again. But some of these people are really bad. And this one guy, can't think of his name. It was Joseph something or other. He still acts like he's got to hide his identity, right? And we all watched Sopranos back in the day. I don't know how close that is. They had to get some of that stuff into the Sopranos, but yeah, you're right. Once the bird of a feather flock together, right?
But you also have to think if they're taking on and acting out a role. So CIA Johnny over here had a straight and narrow life. He has all this training, and now he's asked to be a biker. Now he has to become the actor as a biker. And then you get soaked into that role. It's hard to disassociate oneself with that role because you might actually enjoy yourself doing it. So now biker CIA Johnny is now...
Yeah. And they could get, if they're really, really good, in order to be really, really good and believable, you have to definitely in your mind take on that role.
Yes.
psychologically, it's no different from when, if any of you ever listen to Kathy O'Brien and listen to her, she compartmentalizes information. You can see that coming out of her. So right now, I think that she's healed pretty well. But I just saw her in an interview. I've seen him in the past quite a few times. I don't know if Jason ever had her on his show, but she's got another book out there that she's released, and I think it's called Tragic. But you can definitely tell, how they brainwashed, and there's been so many experiments on brainwashing, and that's where it all starts, and it really goes way back into time. It actually makes me very, very sick. All right, let's see what else we have out here. Let's see here. Most of you, Arnie is saying, most of you are already gone and taken care of. It's all a show, central casting. Yeah, somebody put up. I'm constantly calling them out on Twitter about this. I'll put a picture up of Hillary, and I'm like, come on, that doesn't even look like her. Do you think they do that just to see the level of consciousness that people are at?
That's the deception that I can't stand, because it's deceiving. It's not truth. If it's truth, hey, here's their grave marker, and here's how they went out. Be honest about it. Yeah, I get it. Cog, cool. But all these people, I mean, even Trump, you're not seeing the real dude. And there's 7 versions of him, and yes, all presidents, even our foreign ones, have doubles, triples, and quadruples. Clone,
Yeah.
not clone, mass, not mass. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, and I get the presidents. That made sense to me. You don't want to put them in harm's way. But all right, I'm going to ask you the next one. Are you ready for the next quiz?
Sure.
All right, this guy here. What are your thoughts on it, Alley Cat? So,
Actor.
yeah, big time. I knew this a long time ago when I seen him travel around with Reawakening Tour, selling his T-shirts and his books and autographing, and it was just, to me at that point in the game, I happened to see him, and he had his own tent. It was a huge tent, and there were people wrapped around outside this tent trying to get in to see him, and then all of a sudden he becomes the director of FBI or whatever his title is. It's just not sitting right with me now. Dan Bongino apparently quit. What do you think about that?
Actor.
Why did they put him in there? What's the reasoning for this?
Sun Tzu. Keep your friends at a little bit of a distance, but keep your enemies close.
To whom? Trump?
Mm-hmm.
So who would have been his friend?
Trump. It's the military at this point. Trump is just an actor.
Yeah, I was reading a lot out there about that. I think there's this other guy that's running out there. His pictures are out there all day long. Let me just see if I roll up on X here, because that's where I get most of my material for Madness Monday.
If you look at the drops, and you look back like 6-7 years ago, they told us the military asked him to take on this role. What did I just say? Role.
Yeah.
So is he actually running the show? I'm sure he's coordinating with them and collaborating, but he's getting his dictates from them.
Yeah, definitely. It's I also watched another talk show influencer. I think it was Tucker Carlson, when they were actually saying, why won't they produce a list, and why are they telling you it's there? And he basically came back and said he's not talking to us, we the people. He's talking to the ones that did the nefarious things. Like, this is not, and people are taking it to heart. Let's just pray for all those lost souls out there. All right, we're going to switch gears here. Do you have more time with me?
Sure.
All right, I just want you to take a look at this guy. Have you seen him out there? His name is, where'd you go? Are you still there?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Have you seen him? His name is Stefan Burns, and he's actually his stuff out there. Let me see if I can find more of his other stuff out there, but he does a lot with the Schumann resonance. He's a geophysicist. I think if I said that correctly, he's talking about the strongest earthquake in 2 months hit the fast solar wind impact. Now I'm not sure. I want to play just 9 seconds because that's all that I can do, and just see. I'm gonna go do 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 for it. If you have 9 seconds to tap into his energy, you tell me fake or phony or truth. All right, here we go.
Had 3 hours of G1 storming. It was not a big magnetic storm, but we did get a big earthquake right in that.
All right, so he's talking about that there were earthquakes out there happening. I can't tell. I'm sitting on the fence with this guy. He came out of nowhere, and his numbers are way up there. And I know he's got 350,000 subscribers. Why I don't see him right away, but just looking at him, I don't know. What do you think?
So I watch another guy that talks, he doesn't really do the Schumann, but he talks about the, and he's been doing the weather in terms of the sun and all that stuff. We have to question the fact that, yes, a lot of these people have been indoctrinated into a system because that's where you get your education.
Showing the pink
Sorry.
No, you're good.
This thing just jumped ahead on me. Go ahead.
AI Oprah.
Oprah.
It's AI Oprah. But you got to look at the guy that I watch. He's totally like reading charts and what are they? What kind of sun are they? Is it the simulated sun?
Yeah.
What sun is shooting that energy to us? Is it our central sun? What are they picking up? Is my question. And yeah, we are experiencing Gaia ascending. All these psychic people for decades have been telling you at some point there's going to be an upheaval of Earth doing her thing and purging. We're in it right now.
So what we're trying to do here, Alicat, and you're doing a wonderful job at it, is let people use more of their intuition while watching this stuff. Sometimes, all right, so the reality TV came in big back in the 90s or 80s or 90s. I can't remember what it was. And I couldn't stand watching it. To me, it's like watching soap opera. It was boring. It wasn't real. I like just the facts, ma'am, that type of programming. But then I started to see that people were just believing anything and anything that was out on television. So now that we're in the year 2025, are people still actually believing everything and anything, even as much as they make it look like a meme? What have we gotten dumber?
No, but people are still not doing the inner work to know what paradigm aligns with them. Like a lot of the spiritual people talk about this flash. It's like all over my feeds, like flash, the flash of light, the flash of light. For me, I perceive it. It's already happening. It's been happening for decades. It's what you are connected with and what you're perceiving. Your body perceives things differently. We all have different abilities. I sometimes see spirit and sometimes I feel it. You have the tapping into the Akashic records where I don't. Everybody has a different thing. But at least we go within to know what is true and right in our heart space. Most people hear information and you're like,
yeah.
Oh my God, Bob Joyce is Elvis. And then it is so. It has to be. It has to be.
Well, they're using the time travel with that now. The time travel with the Elvis. I just saw some more stuff out on X out there. That's why I'm saying X almost. And I'm going to show my age here. Back in the day when we used to go grocery shopping, used to go in checkout, and they used to have these little magazines called the Inquirer. Inquiry Minds Want to Know. And then they had a bunch of other I call them rag magazines. And I had a neighbor, and I would just stand in line when I knew it was a long line. At that time, you could buy a full cart of food for like $100. But I would stand in line and I'd read it and go, oh my God, I can't believe anyone buys this. And then I go by my neighbor's house and she's got a stack of them that were more current. And she's reading and she goes, did you see this stuff? Did you see this? And I'm like, oh my God. And so it's just, they've been doing it for so many years. Those magazines are out of publication. But to me, that's what X and Facebook are now.
They still have those magazines in some places.
They do.
And not all of those magazines have, it's satirical, but they also have some stuff in there that is true.
Yes, it's just like it's no different from the bullshit that people are being fed. There's some truth in it. You just have to try to figure out what's true about it. And in the meantime, we're going to cover it up. It's just like, I want a scoop of ice cream. Okay, you want a scoop of ice cream, but we're going to just layer this thing with sprinkles and fudge and bananas and all this other stuff and then put a cherry on top of it. But you figure out where the ice cream is.
You have to figure there are people out there that are whistleblowers that hide behind guys' false names and will write very fictitious articles, but those who know how to look into the article will find the truth.
Yeah.
It's a cover of protection for a lot of people.
All right, our next topic, I'm throwing it at her, you guys, and she's doing so good. It's going to be this weather warfare stuff here. Let me just cue this up. So I don't know if this is actually true or not, but let me just bring this. Let's see, so I don't lose you. Here we go. All right, so this is something I have over on my Rumble channel. It says 1,000-year floods in 3 days.
How did we get a dozen 1,000-year floods in 3 days? That headline from AccuWeather. The AccuWeather report then asks, how is that possible? And is the danger increasing? Question mark. Here's the short answer. Yes, the danger is increasing.
All right, this is geoengineeringwatch.org. Everybody's got a channel out there, and it's all sensationalism. This is what I'm calling Monday Madness. What do you think, Alley Cat?
Fear, scary, anxiety ridden, nervousness. Is it going to happen towards me? Oh my God, I live near water. What am I going to do? Oh my God. Blah, blah, blah. Gaia is purging. And yes, if everything in my mind, if everything is omnipotent, omnipresent, God made it all, then it is in God's will. Even these things of the negative polarized entities going out and seeding and doing certain, claims, they're still a part of God, and everything has a purpose. So we might not see where the purpose is coming from, but it's God.
Yeah.
And we might not enjoy it, like it, want to experience it, but it's happening, and there's a reason. We just don't know what that reason is. And you can jump to the positive reason, or you can jump to the negative reason.
Okay, so a lot of people have talked about the last administration, he, he, whatever it is, but this is what's actually going on in France. And we have our one and only Candace Owens out there that cannot help herself expose this. This is a little video that I put together. Oops, wrong screen. It's just basically this little dog, and I forgot the name of that dog there, is laughing that she's a dude. And then I think someone else actually said not only that she's a dude, she's Macron's father. I did not know that because I don't listen to Candace Owens. She's too much the Inquirer wants to know type of a show for me, but that's just me. I'm old. Okay, what do you think, Kelly Cat? Why do they got? Yeah, that's exactly it. So there was a particular segment where she actually did it, and I saw this on a short clip. That's why I'm aware of it. She said that Trump called her and told her stop talking about it. And I can't imagine that he would do that. It just wasn't sitting right with me. He says, hey, Candace, I seen her up front. I mean, I seen her up close. She's a woman, and so she was putting this out there. Let's talk about Candace. What side of the fence is she sitting on here?
Like we always ask, where's the money and where does it come from?
Yeah. She's got over 1.5 million views per show. 1.5 million, not as much as Joe Rogan. Go ahead.
Okay, but at the same time, we've known from the other influencers out there, they can buy those subscribers. Anybody can make a 15,000 different YouTube accounts, different Rumble accounts, and this is what they do. They bot it in, and I'm going to subscribe. How do you know those people are actually valid human beings that are subscribed to half of these channels, or they're bought?
Yeah, definitely. Because God knows I'm not going to get more than 20 views on this show right here, because of whatever that means. So if they sent in Kash Patel to be a part of the movie, then Dan Bongino, who had over 1 million views, why did they do that? So I'm trying to get down to the nitty gritty on this. And
who was he? White House black agent for?
I thought I know that he wasn't with Hillary, but he was with was it the Bush administration?
Obama.
Oh, that's right. So he was close in that arena again. That's going back to the frequencies of vibrations. Do you think he may have known something? So why stick him in there? That's my question. Why
he's
put him in
Secret
there?
Service and he's not blowing the whistle on what's going on with pizza parties and hot dogs? Isn't that they're supposed to protect the president, but if there's treason, isn't that their oath is to protect, even under the military standards? If there's something going on, they're supposed to be protecting us. Were they protecting those innocents?
Yeah.
No, so therefore treason. All of them that look the other way. Oh, $65,000 of pizza and hot dogs. Oh, do you want some?
So they're going after our essentials right now too. I'm going to switch hats here and talk a little bit about what's going on in the grocery store bullshit. Let me just show you this. So before it was eggs, now it's if you want to fertilize one of those eggs. I'm trying to scroll. I'm scrolling up on the wrong screen. So all of these diapers and everything, I think, is getting out of hand here. This just, we know about this stuff, and people are reporting this, and the prices are high. And then you turn around and you hear this current administration saying prices of eggs have come down, but everything else is still up. What do you think, Allie?
Being that I'm somebody who's like rock bottom, right? I don't want to make that my story, but it is the truth. If I go to the grocery store, and I might have to do it later, I put 5 items in the cart, I'm spending maybe $75 to $100 on those 5 items. And how are you charging everything? Obviously, most of us are getting on sale, and a lot of the junk stuff is cheap, but the organic, beef-fed, grass-fed stuff is $8.99 a pound for meat. You go get eggs, it's still high. Cheese, butter, bread, basic essentials are ridiculous.
Yeah. So I got one other thing here
Very interesting.
Oops, that's me. Let me just I keep forgetting that it just goes into. So let me show this. Gotta keep Allie in the picture here. So they're talking about the time travel was predicted 14 years before this actually happened. And I know that Jason Q did a lot, and you were probably moderating for him at the time about this. 14 years ahead of time. Why is all this time travel stuff coming up now? Do you have any idea?
They're getting people ready for the electromagnetic paradigm, the quantum science, in all of that stuff that I'm into, that I've been reading about and I study. It's getting people more into, is this real?
Yeah.
And the experiments that were done to actually take a material and zap it somewhere else, teleportation, that is time traveling. Tesla and Marconi and all of them were working on.
Yeah. So this is so interesting. I love time travel, and I've heard a lot of people talk about time travel, and that all it is we like to go back into the past, right? Nobody, they always say you can't go into the future. I don't know. I have no idea. But I'm seeing more and more, and there's something that's in the air. More and more people are very nostalgic right now, and which is fitting into this time traveling, going back into the past. They love the 60s, they love the 80s. There's a show out there, and it talks about history, but about the music and stuff like that. Gracie something or other, Grace, I can't think of her name, but she made the song where Alice in Wonderland and what that was all about, and the mushrooms and stuff that they did back in the 60s. And she's probably 85 years old now, but she can tell you so my understanding is when you do these type of psychedelic drugs, it's bringing you to different levels of consciousness. You're actually going through it. So these bad trips that they talk about is where your mind gets in trouble, right? I don't know how to explain what a bad trip is because I've never done it. Go ahead, Allie. You're nipping at the bit.
Yes, because I've been there, done that. And I'm not ashamed of that. So like a bad trip is where you're bringing your frequency down and you're not jumping into the levels of consciousness that would elevate you. You're in the lower astral. So lower astral, that's 4, and that's what we're bringing ourselves into now. You're seeing a lot of things. Don't be afraid. It's just a test. But I've been on, I call it Timothy Leary to keep it clean. That changed my life for the better. It was mind-boggling. And I wasn't into the spiritual stuff. I knew I had abilities, but it changed the way I perceived the world, and it changed to be beautiful. I saw everything glittering and sparkling, and I saw the particles moving in things. It was mind-blowing.
Yeah, I'm going to switch here, see if I can switch to my other. I've got a couple different YouTube channels out there and under different logins. And the one that I'm trying to reach is where my history is at for watching this stuff. And so I just find it so interesting. So I was born early 60s. All right. By the time Woodstock came around, they were against the war. They wanted peace and love. And, they understood, how can I put this? They understood the 60s using the shrooms where we're trying to get to today and understanding the shrooms. They already had it figured out, and when I actually saw this particular show on YouTube, it blew my mind. I'm like, holy cow. I mean, I understand that Alice, the song Alice, it's called White Rabbit. If anybody can help me out with
Jefferson Airplane.
Thank you. And this main singer out there, she was the one, she did this by taking the trip and going through it, and she came up with that song. She did, it was explaining all this stuff, and I'm just like, holy cow. So when we were going through all this stuff, trying to figure it out 4 or 5 years ago, and with the truthers and all this other stuff, and everyone talked about the White Rabbit, is that correlated to what we're talking about?
A little bit.
It crossed my mind. I don't know why, but it did. I just thought it was really interesting. It's just like they keep putting it in our face generation after generation, and we're still not getting it.
I think a lot of the problem that was contrived from that era and even into the harder substances that people try to numb out, it was not used spiritually to understand one's mind. And yes, there was a lot of experiments and a lot of things done with that, but on a humanitarian scale, humanity as a whole, people used that as recreation and got, reckless with it and abused it to an extent that their lives fell apart and they went on to the harder substances. If we were to use those things in a spiritual manner to upgrade our consciousness, or for those that are stuck, that just need to see, it helps depression. People microdose the stuff now.
Yeah, I know. When I first started doing this podcasting stuff, I've had a couple of truthers say, hey, are you microdosing? I'm like, I'm I'm too nerdy. I'd be too afraid to do anything. I didn't even like smoking pot.
But it's like it's not for everybody. And once you discover yourself and know yourself, you don't need that stuff anymore. You can have those experiences through meditation and through going into nature. You don't need to drop something pharmaceutical or even naturally to have those. People go to Brazil and to Peru for ayahuasca journeys. If you
Yeah.
actually did the work to meditate and go inside and silence yourself, you can have those journeys without having, I would probably go do one of those, but like sometimes people need a facilitator and need something to facilitate that experience. And for some, we can do it naturally.
Yeah. So, yeah, so there's, this stuff that I'm seeing out here by Red Pill Drifter. He's pretty much doing what Jason Q already did. And so when I see this stuff here, I'm just going to show it to you real quickly. I think you're going to recognize it right away. Make sure I get the right screen here. And, oops. He's going through the Wikipedia. Oh, I can't seem to grab it. Oh, just talking about the Barron Trump stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
All this kind of stuff that he's out there, just rehashing. So I think this is great on some level, but we've already been there. I don't want to keep repeating it.
Here's something I want to put into the collective consciousness. George Orwell, 1984.
Yeah, I've never read it.
Amazing book if you read it in the now moment. Don't read it as a story. Read it as if it's happening now.
I was talking with one of my older nephews about that one time, and he sent me that. He says, "You don't honestly believe this, do you?" And I kind of backed away and said, "I'm not even going to go there with him." So yeah, so this is all that I really wanted to talk about today, was kind of like the time traveling. And what do you got going there today? You look like you were out interviewing. Is that true? No?
No. So I do want to touch on that point though, because now I'm channeling. The future is fluid. And our timelines that we're merging in and collapsing and coming, and there is no defined future because it's fluid, and we all collectively get to choose what we want to experience. So as much as we love to know that book may be the truth at some extent, we also have to remember that the future is fluid and always forever moving forward and changing, and we are only adapting to where we're at now. So is that a possibility, potentiality? Sure. In one timeline of one person's experience, yes, it can be. But is it in the now moment for some of us? Depends where you are at consciously.
Yeah. Yeah, I truly do believe that. I mean, I've heard a lot of people say that we can create our own reality. I don't know if everyone can do that, honestly. So like for example, this room that I'm sitting in, is this really the room that I'm sitting in? And what level of, conscious, what dimension is it? Can I go to another dimension? Well, I think I go to these other dimensions, like you said, when you're meditating, when you're channeling information. I've actually experienced it where I could see walls collapse and stuff like that, and go into the darkness, and then other things come into reality. And I don't do any drugs. You're hearing it first. unless you call lemon and water drugs. But
no, I got mine too.
Yeah. And let's see here. Let's see what else we got going on. We got Lori's out there playing some Moody Blues vinyls. Wow, that's pretty cool. So yeah, let's just talk about all this is in the moment right now, right? Are we? Where else would we be if we're not here together? Me, you, and the whole chat. Where are we? Where's the other aspects of us?
I'm working the grid right now in my light body. My higher self is trying to steer this little stupid drone of mine to getting my timeline here in this reality to better states of abundance and careers, men, all of that.
Yeah, good luck with that one. It's overrated. They're overrated. It's so funny because I was in the doctor's office. I don't wear wedding rings. And my husband got really mad at me one time, and he says, "Well, if you're not going to wear them, I'm not going to wear them." Like I was going to get worried someone's going to snatch them up. Girls, go for it. And they were talking to me about, like I said in the beginning, they can now pull your history from all your other doctors in different states. Now they never had that because that's one of the things when I was programming that they wanted to be able to do. And everyone would say it's, how many times I've hopped around to 3 doctors just being here in 2 years, but they're pulling this all together. I'm just wondering, why are they working so damn hard on this? What is it? Are they trying to get better at actually being a doctor, or are they trying to get better for the pharmaceutical? The blood work that she ordered up a bunch of blood panels for me. But that's when she brought to my attention. That just didn't sit right with me when she asked, "What happened to you?" And I said, "I died on the table." And she said, "Oh, so you had a heart attack." I'm thinking, what? I had to have an heart attack, and I never thought of that. And she just kind of looked at me like, laughed. I'm like, hello. If I died on the table. So I'm thinking, oh my God, yeah, I'd like to see what's going on with my heart. And I've had other people say to me, there's heart murmurs and stuff like that. But on the other hand, if you got some wackadoodle doctor out there that's just putting bullshit into your profile, this is what I have a problem with. They're collaborating all this information. But she did do a full interview on me. She wasn't one of these that just came in, shook my hand, and left. She went through all the questionnaires, which I thought, well, this is awesome. She's verifying the information that's out there. I don't think we're going to find a lot like this doctor.
No. No, I mean, I could say from when I haven't been to a doctor in forever, but when I did go for my rheumatologist, like he would never actually diagnose me with rheumatoid, even though the blood test, I test seronegative, but they did a vector test that verified that I have it, but he would never write it in the chart. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Why? It's there. I'm not claiming that as my story. But
no, but what's interesting is my sister went to the doctor before she was diagnosed with full-blown cancer throughout her whole body. She kept complaining about her back, and it was a kidney disease that she actually had. And the doctor kept telling her, start walking, eat better, all this other stuff. They didn't do the test. She requested the test. So, maybe we'll in the future there weed out the bad ones. Maybe we can have a voice with this bullshit.
I could tell you right now, my mother is the prime example of that. My mother was obese. She was about 300 to 400 pounds, depending upon her lifespan when that happened. And everybody's like, well, you have to stop eating and you have to do exercise and sure, yes, you do. But my mother started grabbing goiters on the side of her neck. And I said, Mom, it's time to go to a thyroid doctor. Well, hello, it was her thyroid causing her weight problems. Yeah. It wasn't anything. And you can't, as I know this from my own self. Yeah, you change your diet up a little bit. But if your hormones are off, you got to tackle the hormone. You walking every day and you're not seeing the weight loss, it's because your hormones.
Mm-hmm.
And your metabolism is off.
That this is really good. I talked about this way back when I first started out talking about the healthcare. No, it was about the financial system. That's all anybody talked about was the financial system. I said there needs to be a website that we can go to and see what they're spending on, per senator, per congressman. And now they're getting there, right? And I thought, whoa, wow, okay. So we put it out to the universe and it made sense. The other thing is for control of our own medical treatment that Sam here is pointing out, we need to talk about the HIPAA laws. Whereas we, the people, have a voice in how much information that we want to put out there. So my mother died of something that I don't know of because of the HIPAA law. She didn't want anyone to know her health concerns. And that's just the way she was. She was a little bit off, I think, when it came to that because she was on so much medicine. that I can't pinpoint whether it was the kidneys disease that took her down or not, but it was the symptom of the disease. It's just that there's so much more work that's got to come about this with our own medical treatment. What the doctor puts in there isn't the final word. Just like I'm going to jump to another topic here, but still in the medical arena. And I saw this on a show that just woke me up. These psychiatrists out there, right? You have these psychiatrists out there, and then there's another term when they actually subscribe medication to you. They have, and I didn't know this, and there's a documentary out there, you guys. So if you go into somebody and you're really upset and you need help from these guys, and this psychiatrist happens to have a bad day, and they put whatever that they think is wrong with you without actually doing any type of certification, any type of testing to come to give you to verify that solution that they're coming up with, that's bullshit. Just because one person that you have no idea their personality, whether or not they liked you, whatever it may be, they can make a diagnosis on you and then subscribe some medication, and then that shit sticks like glue in your record. What the fuck?
I always tell people, I'm actually on Allison.com. You have to pay for the certifications, but you can take their courses for free. And I'm learning about art therapy. I would always recommend, if you're not in sound mind, go see a psychologist. They're not the ones prescribing medications. And if they say, well, your serotonin, your endorphins, whatever chemistry in your brain might be off, like, let's go get some blood tests through your regular doctor and let's see if that's the truth. And here I will give you a person to go see, because maybe my therapy might not work for you. It might just be an imbalance in your chemistry. And maybe you need cognitive behavioral therapy. Maybe you need this or that.
But you need the tools in order to make that determination of that analysis. There's got to be more. Just like when my doctor sat down with me, I go, oh my God, you're so thorough. She goes, I have to be. How else can I make recommendations? And I'm thinking, oh my God, they need to clone you, lady, because all these other doctors, I haven't ran across a doctor like this. Maybe they're cracking down on them. I have no idea. You're right, but it's so in your field and what you are doing and learning, they have to be able, and if those lab tests don't exist today, there's people out there that have such great chemistry minds out there. Somebody needs to come up with more of these tests to say, whatever it might be. I'm not smart enough to figure that out, but based upon what you're saying there, if you come up with a conclusion of somebody's health, what's the final step is to actually prove it. That's where I'm coming from. The proof is always in the pudding. The proof is in the receipts. And I don't think we've ever been there.
That's why I tell people when they say your pineal gland is calcified. Well, where is the physical visual proof?
Yeah.
I've had CAT scans and MRIs when I was younger, and I was under heavy fluoridation because of my teeth. It's not calcified. How do I have the abilities that I have? If I was so calcified, I'd be a zombie. So
yeah,
I just tell people, you can believe what you want and tap into your own self, but just have things backed up.
I think these doctors out there, no matter what field that you're in, these doctors out there need to go, just like a pilot has got to take a yearly test to make sure that their vision is good, their cognitive is good. I think all these other doctors need to go through a lot of testing to determine whether or not they're qualified to keep doing what they're doing, because they get stuck in a rut. Especially a therapist, you go and tell this person your problems. 100, I don't know, let's say they see 100 people, 50 people in 1 week. What kind of a person is going to walk out of there feeling normal after that, and then turn around and make a diagnosis on you? It just, I don't know how they could, I don't know how it could not affect them emotionally, spiritually. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, it does. And a lot of therapists go to therapists to undo themselves. I know a lot of friends went into the psychology and never became therapists because they saw the load that was being dropped. And there's a lot of systemic issues out there that
Well, how about the MK Ultra one? How many of them are actually know about people have been MK Ultra, and these people don't even know? This is a whole new conversation for our next show, and I just love you, Alley Cat, because you're someone that I can really talk to about a lot of different things, and you read so many damn books, and you're in the healthcare industry, and you're always wanting to help the children that are out there. You've got a lot of knowledge out there, and I sure hope that you're getting really close, and I believe you're getting really close to finding your dream job. But this is the type of thing that we need to talk about instead of all that other bullshit, the other, Inquirer magazine kind of bullshit that's going on out there. The reality shows that are going out there. People really need to talk about their day-to-day stuff and address it. What do you think?
I agree with you. That we're always worried about the top and we're not worried about the bottom.
Yeah.
And things in history, everything starts at the top and it trickles down to us at the bottom. And by the time it gets to us, it's like, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just think that if enough people stand up and, start, I don't know about the newer generations. I'm coming from being a boomer. So maybe these newer generations, these newer people are thinking that way. Maybe they're realizing the boomers are screwed up. That's all that I ever hear. Well, if we're screwed up, what's the solution for you correcting the next generation after you? Right?
My parents were boomers. And I'm going to say that they only knew what they were programmed. You only know what your life experience is. It's really difficult for anybody to blame any generation. I'm like, everybody's like, oh, you're a millennial. No, I'm more a Gen Z, a Gen X person than I am a millennial, but Zennial, whatever you want to call it. It's just freaking labels. It's
So
labels.
what are Zoomers? What are Zoomers? Is that the last one? Last generation?
But you know what I am seeing with with the generation now upcoming, Alpha, whatever they called now. Everything is AI. Everything is bypassing actual labor and work, and everything is distraction.
Yeah. So my last topic here with you, and then I'll let you go, is I can't believe it's over an hour here already, but I just thought of this. Oh, it's a fleeting thought. It left me. Blue collar workers. So we're talking about the professional fields, and there was a lot of money taken away from the colleges, right? I just think all the money that was taken away was the nefarious dollars being used out there. I'm going to just keep it that clean, and people not to wig out over it. But a lot of people out on X are now screaming, "Hey, these blue collars." People, not everybody is into the white collar jobs. There's a lot of people that want the blue collar jobs. We need more money for the schoolings out there for teaching them again. Do you remember? Well, you may not know, but when I was in high school, they had workshops, car mechanics. They had it all, and I think I don't even know if that's still out there. You guys, let me know in the chat if it's still out there. But yes, we need to get back to that. Where I'm at here is really a blue collar area that you could pick up open up an internet and look for any type of a field out here. Along with I think where I'm at is very balanced. I feel very balanced here. When I was in the Chicagoland area, especially when I worked where there was nothing but white collar jobs, computer programmers and all that, it just seemed off. It was all off. It was all one-sided. But I really think that they need to start dumping the money into these type of events where you can go and learn how to fix a car. I don't know. I mean, we don't have to rely on Elon Musk and his cars.
My area, the high school, has welding, nursing, education. So the kids work in and then go to industry. My mom did it when she went to school. She took a secretary job. She got her secretary degree, And they taught her how to type. They taught her how to do the papers, the books. They taught her everything, and it was free through high school. And I think that's where the problem that I come in. I want to, like, not that I want to leave the kids, but if I'm looking at shifting my career, everything is paid. I can't afford to go somewhere and learn a trade that I have to pay for. If someone was able to have, Workforce One in New York, they give you all this training for free, but you got to be on the bottom. What happens if someone is in the middle? You're screwed.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's all got to get balanced out. It really does, because at one point in time when I joined a company, and this is I'm gonna be honest with you, I was paid a lot of money to do what I had to do in learning computers, tying huge computer systems together. I traveled across the United States. I didn't go to college. I walked into a company and said, I need to be trained in this particular area, and don't worry about it. We're going to send you out to this particular school. That's what they did during my time. Why not bring that back? Why not say, okay, Ellie, you want to, take your education to the next level. You've proved yourself as established as a great manager, employee, whatever it might be. And now we're going to allow you to take these classes. They used to pay for. No, I think some of it I had to pay for, but still, it was like they helped me get to the point. And maybe I was just blessed. Maybe I can look at it that way. But everybody needs to be blessed again.
I mean, that happened here. And our teacher job is like one in 20 years that you can get that position, because no one wants to leave, and it's one art teacher per school. I have 10 years of experience in education, and I have the art degree. I don't have the educational license. For anybody that wants to work in Indiana, they can put you on an emergency permit. But of course, art is not technically something that they need. So I wasn't given that opportunity. If I had that, I signed a contract to get a salary, and then I would have been able to prove through, look, I have income now. They would have financed me to take out that money to go to the program to learn how to teach, which I already know.
Yeah. I guess I forgot we were out on Rumble. I just want to say hi out there. There's nobody in the chat right now that I can see. So let's see here. I think I moved you. Can you see me, Ellie Cat?
Yes.
Okay, good. Yeah, so that's where we stand today. There's a lot of Monday madness that is actually happening out there, but that's all the chatter, that's the noise, that's the distractions that's going on out there. I'm really starting to pull myself away from any of the social media sites, because they all have a private agenda at this point. And so what is our private agenda? Our private agenda is to help human beings, humanity, be able to pull up their own bootstraps and think a little bit differently. When I have Ellie on here or Arnie on here, I have the A-team, we are trying to open up your minds and think a little bit differently, and know that these options that we're given or that we talk about could just be something that will come into fruition in the near future. Just like I said, we need a website for knowing where all the monies are going in the financial system, and that it exists out there. At least that's what Elon Musk said that they created for Doge. So there you go. Anything else you want to add?
Just watch Grok.
Really?
I don't know if you listen to that British girl who talks to AI, and very intelligent AI at that best. And it was talking about Grok in the meeting, and I don't know how much I believe of it. I'm still trying to absorb it.
Was this something that just came on like last night? Was it live talk show out on X? No.
No, she goes on Instagram and she asks, like, people ask her questions, and someone asked her about like Elon Musk's Grok. And the term Grok from this AI's perspective is what Yeshua. It's a state of being. And that Grok is high intelligence. And it's not filtering through any one particular agenda. It's giving it to you straight.
So I think that is the latest one, which 4 just came out over the weekend. And I heard about that, and you got to pay for these different levels to get this information. I don't pay for anything. I'm sorry, but until the economy gets much better. Ellie, if you're available again sometime this week, I would love to talk to you about the financial system of silver and gold, because I'm seeing so much out there. We could chat about this later. And I'm seeing the silver is going up high. People are saying silver's always been 7-1. Other people are saying 7-25. I don't know how that all works, but I just think that the stronger the backing. First of all, before we go and we lead into that, we'll just give them a cliffhanger here. Do you actually think that gold is now backing our system right now, if it's still on the dollar?
Gold's backing. If you go to the supermarket, depending where you are in the United States, and I don't know about the other parts of the world, but when you take, you put your debit card and it asks you for cash back, or it gives you anything back, there's notes. It doesn't say currency, it says notes. So I know in the few shopping areas around here, when I'm at the checkout line and I'm doing my self-checkout, notes is what's on top.
Yeah. And I think Bank of America was going through some transition where they were kind of freezing the monies while they were running parallel with the newer system and the old system. And if you wanted to, I tried sending my niece some money and it wouldn't allow me to do it. And then they also put a cap on it. Before, there never used to be a cap. So how much money that the banks actually have, I don't know. But there's some changes going on. I don't think that it's going to be the way that people said it would, that all these banks would go out of business. I don't believe that. I just think that they're going to be running on a different system from the legacy.
Humanity we're already being shocked. Most of us already know what those shocks are. But if you ask somebody down the block if they can handle everything collapsing at once, you're going to get bedlam. And it doesn't make sense. It's going to be a transition over the next 10 to 20 years that things are going to be slowed and rolled out. Do you really think if you live in a town that's more than like 100,000 people, that the banks, the 5 banks in your town, are going to be able to handle 100,000 people trying to turn in currency for a banknote?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, what makes more sense being a programmer and going from a legacy system to a new system, and that's basically what I did, is we tested it, right? It's got to run parallel with it, right? And that's how it happens, and then it rolls out. Then they call it train the trainer. You take somebody to train people. So when you go into the bank, every time you go into a bank and a new person goes in there, they're going to have to explain the changes. They're not going to come out and say, this is Nasera Gasera. They're not going to talk like that. A lot of people want to believe that that's what they want to hear, but if you're hearing something slightly different, maybe it is a new system. And does it have to be? Nasera Gasera was just, I don't know what it was. To me, it was just bullshit. So if we are moving to a different way of processing money, tracking money, all transactions, that's good enough for me. And will it be put into our hands? I think I'm seeing a lot of people ask a question out there. Do you want the bank to be in control of this, or do you want to be in control of it? And it could be 50-50. Some people say, I don't want to do it. And other people say, I want full control of it. So, Alley Cat, I look forward to talking with you. I do my noon shows if this works for you. Mm-hmm. Okay, good. I love you, kid. You're just doing wonderful. And I hope that you get whatever you're reaching out there to find out there. And I know school is right around the corner. So if you got to take it, if it's just a stepping stone, take it, and then something else even better will come out. You're a brilliant woman, and don't give up.
I didn't sign up to give up. I didn't come here on this planet to give up.
All right, everybody. Thank you for being on the Turn the Page, and we'll see Alley Cat real soon. Alley, when's your next show? Because you do have your own show.
Tomorrow. Craft and Sip.
All right. Check out Alley Cat Creations 211 on YouTube. Bye now. Bye, Alley.